All right, great. So my name is James Kingham. I'm the executive director of the professional development and career education team, and just marked my 1-year anniversary in the undergraduate college. I'm going to tell you more about the professional development and career education team in just a minute. We're known as PDCE, but I want to thank the Strategic Venture Society Student Club that helped us put on today's event and market the event. So I said we have a packed agenda for you today. What we're going to do is introduce to you why we're having this tech bootcamp, what it's all about, what the goals of the tech bootcamp are, give you a little bit of context as well around why we're doing this, especially now in this particular moment in history for the Stern Undergraduate College. Then we're going to get right into the bulk of the session, which will be hearing from current students who've recruited in the technology industry and can tell you more about their experiences. We are going to have breakout rooms as well. So encourage you, if you're able, to be ready to have your video on, have your sound on, particularly for the breakout room portion, which will take place in about 30 minutes or so. And then we're going to give you some homework and some next steps. And we have some other events that are going to be happening this semester around the tech industry. So first, let me just tell you more in terms of the context about the the professional development and career education team. As I mentioned, my name is James Kingham, and I'm the executive director of the team. And I'm joined today by several members of the team who are going to introduce themselves briefly. So more about me. I've been at Stern since 2009, believe it or not, which seems like a long time. I always say believe it or not, because it seems like a long time to me, but I really love working here. Most of that time was spent on the on the MBA side. So I worked with Stern MBA students most recently as director of MBA career coaching. I am originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. So if there's any Philadelphia area folks in the house, and I'm also a graduate of NYU Steinhardt. I studied in the higher education program and got my doctorate there a couple of years ago. And so now I'd like to turn it over to a couple of additional members of the team. So Mandy, would you briefly introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, James. Hey, all. Really good to see you. My name is Mandy Lankor. I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Moved up to New York to actually get my master's at NYU. And I was a graduate fellow on the team that I'm on now in a different iteration and just never left. And last semester, actually, I started in the MBA program. So for those of you who are taking financial accounting right now, I'm feeling you. That quiz last night was rough for me. So I'm also specializing in entrepreneurship. So excited to have you all here today.
And before I introduce Louisa, let me hop over to Katie. She's our team assistant. Katie, do you want to introduce yourself?
I would love to. Thank you, James. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Anderson. I am the administrative aide on the professional development and career education team. I also have in common with James and Mandy the fact that I've been at Stern a long time and have not left. I grew up in rural northwestern Minnesota and then came here for my bachelor's at Stern, where I concentrated in economics and minored in math and started working here pretty much right after graduation. So big fan of Stern, not leaving anytime soon, and excited for the bootcamp kickoff.
Yeah, and we're lucky to have an MBA graduate fellow, Vaishali Gupta. She's not here today, but you will likely get to meet her in different capacity going forward. And the reason I saved Louisa for last is I'm very excited to announce Laura is the next member of the PDCE team. However, she hasn't officially started yet. She starts with us later in March. She's the newest member of the team. We're so thrilled to have Louisa joining us to expand our programs and our offerings. So Louisa was generous enough to join us today for the session where she'll be mainly observing and checking out how we run the event. But Louisa, do you want to quickly say hello?
Sure. Thanks, James. Hi, everyone. I am thrilled to be joining this amazing team and to be soon meeting with all of you. A little background for me, I am originally from the Dominican Republic, and I grew up in Lawrence, Massachusetts. You might recognize me from Residential Life and Housing Services. I am currently the Residence Hall Director for Lipton Hall, and previously the Residence Hall Assistant Director for Founders. So I'm really excited to continue on at NYU, thrilled to be joining the team at Stern and meeting all of you, engaging with our industry partners and alumni. And so thank you all for having me today. I'm really excited.
Yeah, thank you, Luisa. It's so great to welcome you and have to grow the team. And so in case you're wondering what our team's purpose is, and it's always helpful for us to make sure that you're aware of what our role is. So we support Stern undergraduates. We are a relatively new team. We came out of the Office of Student Engagement last year. Around this time is when we founded the team, so to speak, although we've had professional programs in place for several years, and Mandy and my predecessor and Katie were running those. We want to diversify career paths for Stern undergraduates. There's nothing wrong with the traditional business career paths, including things like finance and banking. However, we want to make sure that undergraduates are aware of all of the multitude of career paths in the world of business. We want to build innovative learning programs and networking programs, and we want to enhance student satisfaction around career development. We want to make sure that you feel like you made the best decisions for yourselves. We are not looking to be a career office. We very much complement and collaborate with the Wasserman Center, which will continue to run Handshake and the job board and on-campus recruiting. And the Wasserman Center will continue to offer dozens of capable career coaching staff and resources. So we complement the Wasserman Center. We are available, though, in Handshake for career coaching appointments. So if you'd like to meet with one of us, you can find us in Handshake. And that's been a great collaboration over the past year. We have our own corporate sponsors on the PDCE team. These sponsors make it possible for us to run great programming, including last year's Coronavirus Fellowship, including the Training the Street module that we recently ran, including the Consulting Casing Bootcamp, which is going on every Thursday starting this past week and continuing this week. And we're very happy to have a tech partner among our corporate sponsors. But as you can see, if our corporate sponsors are any indication, traditionally our students have gone into financial services, the Big Four, and consulting. There's nothing wrong with that. But we really want to continue to diversify into areas like tech and media, make sure that you feel like you know what the available career options are. And so that's what today is all about. It's about a tech-focused boot camp. Just to give you a little bit of context of why we are doing this now. So Stern does aspire to be a top business school for tech industry-focused students, particularly on the East Coast, particularly in New York. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that we envision ourselves ultimately being the top destination for tech-focused students on the Eastern Seaboard, especially in New York. We're in fact launching a BTE, the Business of Technology and Entrepreneurship program, this coming year and this coming fall. We'll enroll the first cohort. My previous home at Stern, the MBA program, has made great strides in the tech industry. Placement in tech now is only number 3 behind only banking and consulting on the MBA side. Now on the undergraduate side, I feel like we're looking to echo that success. So we know interest in the tech industry is high. I mean, if today's attendee list is any indication, we had more than 100 students register. We have more than 70 of you here now. We know the interest level is high. So our goal for this bootcamp is to provide that institutional support to back up the student clubs like SVS and BAC and EEG and other clubs that are really focused on helping students learn about tech. Again, provide that backbone. There is a multitude of business roles in tech, some of which you may have heard of and some of which you may have not. And one thing I noticed when I came over to the undergraduate college is a lot of students were aware of and knowledgeable about things like research or data science or product management, some of the job functions that a lot of students have heard about in tech. However, you don't need to study computer science or data science to have a rewarding, lucrative career in technology with great future growth prospects. So a number of the jobs that you see on the screen here don't require you to have a computer science minor or a data science concentration, including roles like business development, customer success, people operations, sales that are much more client or customer facing, including roles like finance, project management, corporate development that do require a knowledge of business or finance in some cases, but don't require you to have a knowledge of coding. But of course, there are incredible roles in areas like data science, product management, research, some of which do tend to get a little bit more technical. And later today, when you talk to our current students who recruited for these roles, you can get a sense of the level of technical expertise that you need to have for different roles in tech. We're not going to educate you today about all the different functional roles in tech, but we are going to provide you with a link to a free online course, which we purchased from one of the best in the business. In fact, someone who career switched into the tech industry after having gone to Michigan Ross former MBA coaching colleague of mine who put together an online course to give you a quick crash course in the different functions within tech. That's going to be your homework this month before our next tech bootcamp session. So today is all about getting a flavor for what we're doing here with this bootcamp and to meet our current students and hear from them directly how they got their roles in tech and why they chose to recruit for roles in the tech industry. So before we move into the bulk of the session today and the student interactive portion, just wanted to give you a sense of what our goals are here. We, of course, as the name of our team implies, are looking to educate you about the diverse range of functional roles in the technology industry. When we say tech, we are talking about the biggest companies you've probably heard of: Google, Facebook, Microsoft. We're talking about startups. We're talking about consumer-focused firms such as Amazon or Wayfair, e-commerce sites. We're also talking about B2B, right? Business-to-business tech firms that you may not be as familiar with, companies like Oracle or Salesforce. Of course, Microsoft is a little bit of both, and Amazon is a little bit of both when you look at the cloud services. And so what we want you to do in the next several weeks is to think about what functional role in tech you might be interested in, and also what kind of companies you're interested in. Are you interested in e-commerce, social media, more things that more at the nexus of entertainment and tech, like YouTube or TikTok? So there is so much opportunity out there. As part of this, we're going to facilitate mentorship opportunities between you and our upper class students, as well as our alumni who work in tech or have recruited successfully in tech. We want to provide you with job search support. So we're going to offer coaching appointments, peer mentor appointments, and office hours to help you with your resume, LinkedIn, networking, interviewing, really tactical things like that. And again, we're going to leverage some of our external resources that we've found that we think are particularly solid, including the Find Your Fit in Tech course, which you'll get after today's session, as well as Rocket Blocks, which is a platform that offers an interview prep tools, and specifically around certain functions within tech, like marketing, operations, and product management. So that is our lengthy preamble. I want to make sure you'll have a chance to ask questions, which you will at the end. So if you have questions about the Tech Bootcamp as a whole, or questions about what's going to happen in the next several weeks, then please do hold those questions until the end. Seeing that it's about 10 of 1, we're just about on time here. What I'd like to do now is, again, thank the Strategic Venture Society for helping us co-market this event and plan this event. We are fortunate to have 5 student speakers here who are going to briefly introduce themselves in the larger room here. And then we're going to break into breakout rooms so the students can tell you a little bit more on a granular level about how they found their roles. As part of those breakout rooms, we're going to have 3 rotations. So you're going to have a chance to talk to at least 3 of these 5 speakers about their experiences. And hopefully today you leave with a better sense of what the recruiting process is like and why students are choosing to recruit for business roles in technology. So now I'd like to welcome our student speakers, Joe, Amanda, Alex, Dimitri, and Juliana. Joe, Amanda, and Alex are all rising seniors, and they're part of the Strategic Venture Society. Dimitri and Juliana are graduating seniors who are also peer mentors. So you may have heard we have peer mentors available for one-on-one appointments through Stern Life. So I'd like to invite all 5 of these students to spend no more than about 3 minutes each, just quickly giving you a sense of where they're from, in the world, as also where, what they're studying at Stern, what some of their involvement has been like at Stern, and then where they're going to be working either for their internship or their full-time role. And after that, we'll move on to the breakout room phase. So, Joe, since you're the president of SVS, I would like to put you on the spot and ask you to go first. So I'm going to mute myself and turn it over to you if you don't mind.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, James. I'm super happy to be here, and I'm really pumped for these breakout rooms because I'm excited to be able to talk about my experiences a little bit more in depth. But just so everyone knows, my name is Joe Sylvester. I'm from New Jersey originally, and I'm currently a junior studying computing and data science with a minor in Italian studies. I kind of walked on campus at Stern, and I really wanted to get involved in something, so I joined SVS and the mentorship program that they have, or we have. And then when I was there, I really met really strong mentors that I'm still friends with to this day. And they kind of helped me find my passion for tech. And I love tech because it's constantly innovating. It doesn't feel like you're kind of like doing the same stuff. And then also product marketing for me was the perfect choice, just because I love the idea that it's project based. You're able to work on something, put your heart and soul into it, and then see it come to fruition. And then after that's done, you get to restart that process over again. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys later. And I'll pass it off, I guess, to Amanda.
Thanks, Joe. Hi, guys. I'm really excited to meet all of you and to be here talking today. My name is Amanda. I'm currently a junior at NYU Stern. I actually transferred to Stern my sophomore year from the MCC minor in Steinhardt. And because I came as a sophomore, like Joe, I wanted to get really involved. I fell into SVS and made some really great friends there. I was recruiting for finance as well as tech because I didn't know which one called to me yet. But in the end, I ended up recruiting for Uber. And the role I fell into, strategic finance, really spoke to me a lot more than the tech roles. The finance roles I was recruiting for. And so I ended up choosing them, and I'm really excited to start my summer there. So I'll pass it off to Alex now.
Awesome, thanks. And thanks again to Stern PDC for putting on such an awesome event. Super excited to be here. But yeah, my name's Alex. I'm from Toronto. So if any of you guys have any questions about international sponsorship or whatnot, you can always hit me up too. But I'm a junior and I'm studying business at Stern with a concentration in statistics, and I'm pursuing a double degree in computer science as well. So similar to Joe, I'm a freshman year. I came in and I really had no idea what I wanted to do. So I spent most of that time checking out the clubs. I was fortunate enough to fall into, get involved with SVS. And I think that was sort of my first exposure to tech, VC, startups. Got introduced to a lot of mentors, great mentors as well, who were going to those fields. That kind of pushed me my freshman summer to intern at a small e-commerce startup in Toronto. And that was another huge eye-opening experience for me. Because I loved the whole tech vibe. It was a small startup, so I got a lot of responsibility. And I was exposed to a lot of these fields like product management, UX, UI, data, et cetera, that got me really excited. So my sophomore year, I spent a lot of that time delving into more of that. I wanted to get a little more hands-on and dirty with technical skills like CS skills or UX, UI. So I spent a lot of that time developing those, pursuing projects, joining hackathons and stuff. And that's when I kind of felt like product management specifically was something that really interested me, because it's a really interesting mix of, all these things I was passionate about: business, computer science, design, etc. So going to my junior year, I was able to recruit for product management roles, and I think I was able to land a role with Microsoft. I'm super happy about. But yeah, that's me. And I guess I'll pass it off then to Dimitri.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. My name is Dimitri Pan. I am a senior concentrating in data science and finance. I'm originally from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. So Louisa and I are kind of, long lost siblings. And I would say, these past 4 years, my passion has been, just connecting with the Stern community. And you can see that with a lot of the things I've done. I've been part of student council, freshman president. I've done I'm currently in EDG, the VP of Finance there, and just OL. I might have been somewhere as OL, street team and peer mentor, of course. And I'm really also passionate about soaking up the world around me. So I've also studied abroad pretty much half of my college career, 3 semesters, and I was, which ended up becoming a whole year last year. And within that, I've gone, from Asia to Europe to Australia, and I launched my own startup last year, part of IBEX. So if you have any questions about that as well, like study abroad and does that work with recruiting and how does that happen, I'm your guy as well. And professionally, these past 4 years, it's also been kind of chaotic. I started in finance consulting for 2 years, and then junior fall, I completely just said, nope, don't want it. And I rejected everything I had and went straight into tech, which I can go in our little breakout rooms as well. And initially I was also like, it was definitely like a different path. And then I ended up this last semester recruiting for my junior summer. I didn't get an internship in tech and I ended up starting my company. And then last semester I knew that I wanted to do product management, just like Alex. And I recruited, and now I will be starting in Twitter as a product manager, especially at associate APM, which is what most big tech companies have, come September. And I will pass it on to Juliana now.
Thanks, Dimitri. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Juliana. I'm super excited to be here today. I'm a senior concentrating in marketing and finance with a minor in psychology. I'm originally from Brazil, but I grew up in the Silicon Valley, San Jose. I'm currently living in Hawaii, though, for the semester, thanks to online school. Overall, I've had a really amazing experience at Stern. Similar to Dimitri, my favorite part of NYU was definitely studying abroad. I spent my sophomore year studying in London and Sydney. So hopefully those of you who have not studied abroad will get the opportunity to do so. Yeah, I've also explored my interests through a variety of clubs, most notably USWIB and ULABA, as well as a few internships. I actually came into NYU also having no idea what I wanted to do. So I kind of used internships as a way to test out each industry. So my freshman summer, I interned in accounting. My sophomore summer, I explored finance. And then my junior summer, I finally fell into tech. And I really enjoyed my junior summer, working as a product marketer at Google, because it was a great combination of like both qualitative and quantitative skills. And I really liked that it was team oriented. So I will be returning there for full time in the fall. Anyways, it's great to be with you all, and please reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you all. I mean, having worked on the MBA side, right, I've done a lot of elevator pitch training sessions, and that you basically covered it all, the personal, the professional. So I can tell the future is bright with the Stern undergraduate alumni. I guess, we have a couple of minutes before I want to get into the breakout room. So I'll just pose a really quick, I don't want this to be a full-blown panel discussion, but I kind of want to pose a question and see if any of you want to jump in, which is, when you come to a place like Stern, which has such strengths in areas like finance and other job functions, there's that temptation to go into a really structured career path like finance, where the goalposts and the milestones are really clear, and it's there's a certain prestige to some of the jobs out there. Can you guys comment on how you navigated that tension between maybe the more traditional, more structured career paths in business, and how you ultimately settled on tech and giving tech a shot? I know I didn't ask anyone to speak to this directly before we started today, but any sort of general thoughts on that?
I can go.
Yeah, thanks.
I think the main thing I really did was I leaned on the community around me. So it seems kind of counterintuitive, because I know you initially mentioned there's a lot, there's a huge culture of going into, a lot of the industries that we're traditionally strong in, but I really leaned on the community in the form of a lot of our alumni are in tech, and they're president of clubs. They were president of clubs. And I kind of just really reached out to a lot of seniors that graduated, and talked to people that are in the professional community, because they are the ones that are going to tell you how it is. And they are the ones that are going to tell you, so in some ways they even know you better than yourself. They're like, oh yeah, you seem to like this and high energy, your high energy and your personality is like this. Are you sure you need this industry? Maybe you could think about this industry. So I really dived, the community, the Stern community was really helped me with that. And also studying abroad, I think I got out of my comfort zone and explored these things all around the world.
Yeah, I can jump in real quick too. I definitely love to echo everything that Dimitri said about defining communities, finding mentors, people who you can kind of talk to, because those are people that you can lean on to ask like dumb questions or any kind of questions you want. But as well, I think for me, I think another great thing that helped me was like in tech, at least, I feel like there's so many like so many resources online that you can just kind of go and learn things, or you can go like attend events like hackathons, data-a-thons, design-a-thons. These are great places to meet people. And like I went to a couple hackathons where like I was literally just like an individual person, and I just found teammates to do projects. And it was such great experience. I'm really glad I like did that. And then as well, like if you were looking to build like technical skills or looking to do things in like design or whatnot, like there's so many free resources online, like edX, or like Harvard has like a free like CS50 course. So like so many exciting resources that you can kind of delve yourself into as well, alongside, you know, finding a peer mentor or finding like your community of people, because there are definitely people at Stern who are willing to help and, you know, have that experience in tech.
Wonderful. Thank you both for that. I just wanted to throw that in there because, again, part of our goal in holding this boot camp is to show that institutional support. You know, and I think we're still some ways away from recruiting in tech being quite as structured, as clear-cut as recruiting in areas like finance. And certainly our goal in this session is not to denigrate any other career path. We just want to, again, build awareness among the undergraduate student body of what the different options are out there. And I should also say that as much as we're partnering with SVS on this event, they're not the only club that's going to help you learn about what it's like to work in tech, startups. Obviously, we have other clubs that you should definitely join. And our peer mentors like Dimitri and Juliana, you know, are, I think, a testament to the fact that, like, you know, even things like studying abroad, right, are ways that, and I think others have echoed that, just ways to get outside of whatever bubble you might be in and get exposed to different thoughts and different ideas. So any other final comments from any of the students before we move into the breakout room portion? All right, if not, I'm going to go ahead and kick off to the next piece. So what we're going to do is we might, maybe too ambitious, we might be able to have more than 3 rotations. But in just a minute, I'm going to basically invite everyone who's here today to join one of 5 rooms. And then just bear with me while I make sure that our student speakers are each dispersed evenly among the breakout rooms. What we want to do in these breakout rooms is, now you've heard a little bit about who each of the students is as a person and kind of what their journey is. Love for you to take this opportunity to hear even more on a granular level, you know, what their recruiting experience was like, what their functional job is like, whether it's product marketing, finance, product management. Today, we have basically 3 different job functions represented, but of course, there's much more. And here are some sample questions that you might want to ask. Why did you choose this function? How did you learn about it? To what degree do you need technical skills for this job? What was the timeline like? What was the application, interview, networking process like? These are all things that are going to be really good for you to know as you navigate the road ahead. You know, many of you in the room today are first-year students, just getting started on your career exploration journey. Some of you are sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Will be a little bit closer to landing those more structured internships or full-time roles. When we come back from the breakout rooms, so regardless of your class year, when we come back from the breakout rooms, I'm going to give you some next steps and things you might want to do to continue the learning process. And I also want to make sure that you know about some of the multitude of tech jobs that are currently open in Handshake, let alone places like LinkedIn or Gary's Guide or other tech websites. So please be sure to come on back from the breakout rooms at the end, and I'll give you some of that homework and some of those next steps. So for now, I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to initiate recording. All right, hopefully that works. The recording is going to pick up where we left off. If you're watching this at home, you missed the breakout room activities. So sorry, we can't record those. But we hope everyone enjoyed the chance to do the breakout room conversations. Apologies to our student speakers. I snuck an extra rotation in there. I'm not sure if you noticed because I felt like we had time, but hopefully the conversations were good. I know that sometimes those 6 or 7 minutes goes by pretty quickly, but we hope this is a chance for you all to learn a little bit more. And if you have future questions, you can email the students directly at their Stern email addresses. And also, Dimitri and Juliana happen to be peer mentors. And so they're available in our peer mentor system. Before we let you go, because we are coming toward the end of our time, I wanted to tell you about a few next steps. Again, today's goal was not to educate all of you about the different functional roles in the tech industry. We are going to utilize our in-person time, or our virtual in-person time, so to speak, to help you connect with alumni and students, have a chance to practice and build your skills and build your knowledge. But we are going to share with you in a follow-up email the Find Your Fit in Tech course. So a couple of quick warnings. This is, I think, a good course. It's going to take probably about 30 to 60 minutes of your time. Really great course, again, designed by a third-party individual who we respect a great deal. He came in the fall and did a session called Breaking into Tech, Jeremy Schiffling, and it's really interactive, really fun. It has some guides that will be helpful, resume guides, as well as a job search guide to help you reflect on what functional role in the tech industry is right for you. One caveat is that Jeremy was an MBA student when he switched into tech, so you might hear some references to MBA programs. I think that's okay. And he's also pretty clear that he doesn't cover finance or data science, tech heavy roles like data science or computer science, and he doesn't cover finance. So we just want to acknowledge that at the outset. He focuses on roles that he feels are open to folks regardless of what their undergraduate major was. And he kind of has this opinion that with finance roles, data science roles, you either need to study finance or study data science. Good news, many of you are doing exactly that. So based on that course and the conversations you started to have today, start to identify what functional areas of interest might be right for you in the tech industry and what some of your transferable skills are for those roles. And that's exactly what the Find Your Fit in Tech course begins to have you do. Save the date for our next event. So 3 weeks from tomorrow in the evening, we're going to have an alumni in tech event. Details TBD, including a Zoom registration link, but we are going to have alumni who work in the tech industry come out, and you'll have a chance to meet them and hear directly from them and make even more connections in the industry. I want to make sure that you're reviewing some of the active job postings in Handshake, not just Handshake, LinkedIn, other sites, but just to give you a sense of what I'm seeing in Handshake. And this includes full-time roles and internships, corporate development at Indeed, project management at Adobe, business development at Amazon, finance at Amazon, customer experience at Better, which is a fintech firm, talent acquisition at Rakuten, which is a huge e-commerce firm, sales at ZocDoc, marketing at Dataminer, which is a unicorn billion-dollar social media intelligence firm, and finance at Epic Games. So you can see tech start to bleed into entertainment and media at a certain point. And so this is just a sample of the roles that I found in about 10 minutes on Handshake today. So check those out. If you're a sophomore, junior, senior, and you're thinking about applying to an internship or a full-time job imminently, feel free to make an appointment with a peer mentor for any immediate coaching or job search needs, as well as with a member of the PDCE team, me and Mandy, and eventually Louisa when she's officially starts with us. You can book those appointments in Handshake. You can also meet with a Wasserman career coach if you have a really pressing question or need something like a resume review or a mock interview, and we don't have a appointment slot that works with your schedule. Feel free to meet with a Wasserman career coach. They're fantastic. And then you can also, again, reach out to today's student speakers for more information about their experiences in tech. So we hope that today's event gave you a nice flavor for why we're doing this, that we think the future of Stern students going into the tech industry for really great jobs, really stimulating jobs with a great future trajectory. We really are excited about that. We really want to help provide the institutional support for that. Again, you might be really interested in tech or might just be getting started, but we hope that these follow-up items will be helpful. So we're going to email you with these follow-up items and links to all of these things. And we hope to hear from you directly if you have questions, concerns, anything that you wanted us to cover today that we didn't. But again, this is designed to be a semester-long series of events open to all class years to help really get you in a mindset of thinking about tech as a possible path for you. But of course, there are many different options available. That's all that I have for today. I'm not sure if anyone on my team has any closing thoughts or if any of our student speakers have any closing thoughts. Anything I missed, y'all? All right. I know I just saw a bunch of chats come in. I'm not sure if they were farewell messages or if they were questions. Yeah. Awesome. Everyone's giving out their email addresses. Great. So perfect. Thank you all so much for being here. We know this is a challenging virtual format. I think it went really well. Keep in touch with us if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Bootcamp event later in March. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
We'll stick around if you have questions.